And yes, I miss her. I say we're going to grow old there.
Would you go back to Venezuela?
Yes, of course, yes.
And because nothing will ever be the same as in our city. Nothing will ever be like in our country.
It's important that both our management and employees are Venezuelan, not just the management. We serve as a window because 90% of our employees have been Venezuelan, and we understand the challenges of emigrating.
They should try, because if they don't, they'll always be left wondering, what if? If I had tried, if I had taken that step, if I had started that business, if I had done it like that, whether it's a trip or any project you have, something you dream about.
You have to believe. If it crosses your mind, if you thought about it, it's because you can do it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have thought of it.
Hello again over here.
First of all, I want to thank everyone who watched the previous video. Not only did it get a lot of views, which in the end means there are people behind screens watching us, listening to us, but also a lot of supportive comments and, well, condolences for us for Zoki. So we truly appreciate it a lot. And these days in Madeira have helped us, well, to heal a little, to calm down, and we've also come up with some interesting ideas like this video.
I want to add that I felt that day was truly magical and the video turned out beautiful. Because we managed to capture a little bit of what we felt being there in the mountains and opening our hearts with you. So I also want to express my gratitude. And we came up with several ideas. One of them, I wouldn't say it's $1 million idea, but
All right.
innovative. This video will focus on the other one. Manuel came up with the idea that since there are so many Venezuelans working hard here in Madeira, why not find them and tell their story? How did they start? What businesses do they own? And even though we know there are so many, we're going to try to cover a few. And if you like this content, there might be a part 2.
We made a post on Instagram and more than 700 people commented. Obviously, many were repeated, and those are the ones we're going to talk about in this first part, the ones that were mentioned the most, the ones who gave us the best recommendations. But, as Valerie says, there are a lot. But anyway, that's enough. Introduction. Let's go out to the street. This time we're going out on a motorcycle, and we're also going to show you the beauty of this island while we visit the houses and businesses, or even meeting people on the street and asking them a little about their story. We arrived at Flor's house, our first interviewee, and she was the person most mentioned in the comments on the post. There's something nice about that, Flor.
Healthy food.
Yes, because her account is Flor Healthy Food Flor. First of all, what brought you to Madeira?
The desire for change or new opportunities. Also, a better quality of life. And to experience new things. We wanted to experience what it was like to live in Europe because we didn't have that opportunity before, and we decided through family to manage to come here. I visited here as a tourist about 12 years ago and thought I knew my way around, but it's changed a lot. It really has.
And did you come straight from Venezuela to Portugal?
No, Colombia. We lived in Cali. We stayed in Cali for 6 years, and then we came here. In Cali, we were with my husband's and Jimmy's families, and here we're with mine.
Oh, it's because you have Portuguese family?
Yes, they are Portuguese, but I'm not.
Oh, okay.
My cousins, okay? My cousin tells me there's an opportunity here. You can try it, improve your quality of life, earn more, and work. Me, the language, I was scared, but he said it was possible. Now here we are, almost 3 years later.
And now, tell me a little bit about your business.
Well, the business started first out of the need for a little extra money, like I feel we all do. And another way to share my eating habits with people. My friends called me Flor because I thought I was an influencer. So I would post my recipes, record my videos, go to the gym, and prepare my meals. And I was always teaching people that you can eat healthy, that we can have better habits, that we can achieve better health. And unfortunately, with the lifestyle we have, with our jobs, there are people who say they don't have time to do it and end up eating anything. And I think that with the pandemic, we learned a lot about how the body needs the best information. I said, let's do it. That's how it started. I created 5 bowls, just 5, like, let's give it a try. And now I have 11 bowls. Yes, different ones. All of them.
Or are they healthy food bowls?
Yes. I mean, there's no inflammatory food here. Here, there are a lot of real foods, lots of vegetables, protein, which is our main nutrient. Exactly. And we try to include all the carbohydrates too, because you can also live in balance. You just have to know how to eat them and how to prepare them. And I want to ask you a few questions a little related to Venezuela. Do you miss Venezuela?
Or what do you miss the most about Venezuela?
I will always miss it, always.
Has it been a while since you last went?
No, thank God we managed to go last year. That's great. I have a 1.5-year-old named Juan Diego, and his grandparents, cousins, and uncles are there. And there was a need for them to meet my baby and for us to show them where we are from. Because, you know, I am Venezuelan at heart, in soul, in body, in everything. And I like to show the beautiful things we have. Yes, I miss it. I say we'll grow old there.
Would you go back to Venezuela?
Yes, of course, yes.
I have a question. Because you're not the only one who works from home. In fact, we're going to meet other people who also have their own projects at home. But at the same time, they have another job to make ends meet or to have some extra money.
Yeah, like you said, do you have other jobs? Or is this your main one?
I'm dedicated to this job only because I have a 1.5-year-old child, okay? And, well, we're on our own. There's no mom, no aunt, there's no one to help us with raising or taking care of the child. Okay, so this happened and you didn't know you were pregnant and you quit? Yes.
Okay.
I quit and said, I'll find a part-time night job and make lunches so we can make ends meet. Exactly. When I quit, I was pregnant, and obviously I wasn't going to show up and say, hi, I'm pregnant, right? So that's when I started. We're going to offer lunch and dinner, but it's just me doing this.
And you told me that Jimmy, your husband, helps you with the deliveries?
With the deliveries? Yes, he helps me with the deliveries, with some ideas, and with the shopping. He has always had his steady job because thanks to him, I have been able to, well, start my own business. Okay, because you do need an income.
Steady?
Exactly. To be able to start a business, because it's complicated to support yourself with just a business, right?
Well, hopefully in a couple of years, we'll see each other again, and this will already be a store, and you'll already have.
The idea is there. We're almost at the point where they send them. Here, I'm going to show you the keto diet, ketogenic food, proteins, cheese, and vegetables. Okay, healthy fat, Bella, a lettuce base. They all have a lettuce base, okay? Here, this is a bomba that we made because I have a big Venezuelan community, and this is a samba bowl. This is feta cheese, grilled chicken, rye plantain without oil, made in the air fryer, and avocado. Yes, it's delicious. The base is made of spinach.
It looks amazing.
Here we have the Caesar. She's wonderful. It has 200 grams of chicken, Parmesan cheese. I grate it myself. I mean, I buy the block of cheese and grate it. It has bacon and a homemade sauce made with Greek yogurt. It's delicious. And this is the one I told you about. It's a bowl that's kind of for everyone. Well, my 10-year-old son loves it. It's rice, cheese, Parmesan, corn, carrot, cucumber, and chicken. And we don't have sauce toppings. It's just balsamic vinegar and olive oil. We don't use processed sauces. The Caesar is much healthier now because we make it with gluten-free croutons. This is a Portuguese guy, a great friend, and he makes it gluten-free, and now it's part of the Caesar to make it better.
And speaking of this Portuguese great friend, Flor, how did you meet him?
Let's say, how do you feel the Portuguese community has received you?
Because you said you don't have direct Portuguese ancestors, just some cousins, not parents or grandparents.
Not all my clients are wonderful. I have Portuguese clients who buy from me, who believe in what I offer, who help me. Sometimes they even correct me. Flor is misspelled. The word is like this because sometimes you translate, obviously, and it doesn't turn out right. Flor is wonderful and often says wonderful or good appearance. I look good, Flor. For me, it's very important to reach the Portuguese community because they are the ones who have also given us the opportunity to be here. It's important. Honestly, I have nothing bad to say. Everything has been positive. You know, he's Portuguese and I love his product. He makes everything gluten-free.
How nice to hear that, honestly.
Years ago, We Venezuelans welcomed many Portuguese, Spaniards, Italians, and others. And today, they are opening their doors to us in a friendly way.
Yes, of course. You might meet someone on a bad day, but I truly believe in attitude.
If you show up with a smiling attitude, they're like, and now I have a person from Madrid here, so that's my
Oh, really?
trump card. I tell them I have a friend from Madrid, not just anyone, but someone actually from Madrid. And they like that.
Honestly,
Well, you already know the social media. We'll leave them here for you again. Thank you. If you want to eat healthy food, you already know who to call.
And I made some healthy truffles with peanut butter, oats, and 85% cocoa chocolate. I made them for myself and then my friends. Flor, but why don't you let me try them? And I'm improving my technique, but they're delicious. You can obviously have them with coffee without sugar.
It looks delicious. And they...
Slices.
Healthy ones, some of them.
What did they bring? Made in the air fryer without oil?
We've arrived at Dumar Avenue for our next stop. It's a sushi restaurant run by Venezuelans, and I feel that Venezuelan sushi is totally different from Japanese sushi, but it's my favorite. It has more fun ingredients like avocado and sometimes even fruit.
Plantain?
Plantain, the regular plantain in Japan?
What can we do? That's the one I learned to eat.
This is exactly what we're used to. I'd say this is the island's best sushi restaurant.
We've tried more than 5 over all these years. There aren't that many either. It's a small island. Imagine that Madeira is smaller than Margarita, just so you have a reference.
And honestly, this is our favorite.
We haven't tried it in a while, but it's definitely really, really good.
And here's the little restaurant with Sai. It's called The Poke and it serves Japanese food.
so you can understand more or less how it started with Sai. Now, it's something really strange.
When I was in Venezuela, nothing.
We used to sell outdoor furniture in Venezuela, like these chairs and similar items. Did we come to Madeira with a store to sell outdoor furniture? The same?
Madeiran family? Yes.
My grandparents were born here but emigrated at ages 12 and 8. They're actually more Venezuelan than Madeiran despite their birthplace.
They speak Portuñol?
Yes, right? Did they adjust? I think so. Their Spanish is much better than their Portuguese. I could probably teach my grandparents Portuguese even though they were born here. Imagine that. Incredible. The fact is that I was always a big fan of Starbucks. It was something I always had in mind. And I used to say, hey, but how come Madeira doesn't have a Starbucks? I took the initiative. I sent them an email. They told me, of course, the email went straight to the American people. They told me, hey, we don't franchise. It's no big deal. I was on vacation. On my way back to Venezuela, I stopped in Madrid. I walked into Starbucks and saw a sign. Contact us. We are the manager. So, okay, I grab my little card just in case, and I write again, look, man, I don't understand how there isn't a Starbucks here. Joking. Okay, perfect. I go here. Venezuela, like nothing happened. That was December. In April, they wrote, you're not the only one interested. We'll be there in May. Let's talk. Since I wanted to get the store up and running, I had to come exactly at that time. And of course, we'll see each other there. So when I go to the meeting, there were all these really interested people who knew about the topic, but well, people just like me, basically. I never had any experience with restaurants or anything like that in Venezuela. I had just sold furniture and thought, since I'm here, I'll talk to them. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. The meeting went well because it was in Spanish.
All set.
I went back to Venezuela, then I came with my wife and my little dog to live in Madeira. In October, they said, you're one of the 3 finalists to stay with Starbucks. I thought, great, that's excellent news. You have to come to Lisbon to meet with us. I went to Lisbon by bus, you know? When I arrived, like someone drove off in a Porsche, and I thought, wow, I don't have that.
You attended the meeting, but didn't know the franchise cost or details? I did.
An idea. I had an idea, and I also had an idea that I didn't have the money for it. But of course, in my head, I said, well, with this project, wherever I go, they're going to help me. They say attitude is worth $1 million, but I don't know. Well, I don't have it anywhere close. But I present this project to anyone, and I'm sure I'll get the help I need. Nothing. I went into the meeting. Everything was great. It flowed really well. I told them, look, I don't have experience. And actually, they asked me, do you know Mr.? And of course, I know him. Well, I know him. That man has a very good network in Venezuela. Yes, I knew him. Yes, I knew him. And he knows much more about this than I do, no doubt. But I know the brand. You get it? That's the direction I chose. I know the brand and love Starbucks. So that's the direction I took. It's no big deal. To my surprise, they called me and told me that I had been selected.
For the second time.
It was already mine. It was already yours. It was already mine. Let it happen. That's the funny part. You put everything on, so now what? I don't see anything in this place. Before it was half, it was only that part over there. And I rent it, already?
But this place,
Without knowing what was coming.
You saw this place then and still had nothing?
No, they told me you were selected. Now you go to the next phase, which is basically telling you how much it costs, giving you the induction, all that, exactly. But me being in a hurry, like we usually are, this is the same. I was already ready. I grabbed it. It was half of the place. Expensive place. I mean, the rent was really high.
It's just that you're in a really good area.
I thought about the moment because it's Starbucks. It matters. Do you matter to me? Of course.
He recovers.
January came, they called me. I called back and asked when we're going. At orientation, they said our company was in charge of managing Andorra, Portugal, and Spain for Starbucks. A larger Mexican company bought not only us, but also Belgium, France, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. They bought everything. Okay? We have to put you on standby for now. I couldn't keep paying at that point, and I had a 1-year contract without options. Of course, what year was that? We were in early 2019 or 2020.
Yes.
Exactly. After that, my uncle, who is also my mentor and business partner, has taught me a lot. He told me not to worry and to leave. He'd handle everything and pay, so nothing would happen. Thank God. Well, thank God he's my uncle, right? And afterwards, not in March, like in January, Chamo tells me, I have a place, a small sushi spot that's managed by some Asian people, and they did it. The menu. What do you think if we do it at the place down there? I said, well, of course. I mean, besides the fact that I always have a good relationship with my uncle. Huh? I felt I owed you. You helped me, so count on me. We're moving forward. Nothing. We started setting it up here. We were small. We only had about 28 stalls. That's it. And we opened Friday, March 13th.
Okay, of 2020.
Of 2020. We opened Friday, but closed Monday due to the pandemic.
And I already knew where it was going.
Yes.
I knew where that story was going.
Yes, so of course, a lot of people, I always look at things from the positive side. I had never worked in the restaurant business in a restaurant. So all those mistakes, because we worked the same way, we worked with takeaway, so all those beginner mistakes that happened to you didn't happen like that. Not everyone saw it. Did you see it out on the streets? Oh, look, this isn't done like that. Oh, look, this isn't done like that. Okay. We were always growing.
It allowed them to practice for the moment when they opened the doors.
Exactly.
So they would be more in tune, exactly.
After 2 years, we bought, not rented, the place next door. We opened it up, and well, now we've been here for 5 years. We've been here for 5 years already, and thank God things are going well for us. Our main part, right, where we get the most customers is through the fork. Okay, so they do a monthly ranking. We've been among the top 3 restaurants for the last 5 months. Congratulations. That's really cool for all of Madeira.
In parts.
How important it is, not just for the management, since we are Venezuelans, but also for our staff. We're a window because we've done it. 90% of our staff have been Venezuelans. We understand how difficult emigration is, though it might have been easier for me since I had Portuguese papers. My uncle helped me, and since people often need support, why shouldn't we help our fellow countrymen?
I love that we started this interview and we haven't even introduced you. He said, look, I think I've done my part. Give me a break. His name is Johan. We met him in 2020. We were also stuck here because of the pandemic. And I say stuck because I think it was the best pandemic here in Madeira. Yes, there was a lot of control to be able to enter the island, but once you were inside the island, this was paradise. And we didn't know it at that moment because I think the pandemic seemed like something that didn't have an end. Is that right? Especially around June, July, maybe towards the end of that year.
We had a little more clarity, but it still seemed endless.
And we had the chance to explore Madeira and eat here. Yes, and it was like, what a delicious sushi, thank you. Because listen, I feel like there's a bit of subjectivity in my opinion.
Obviously.
Being Venezuelan, but I feel like Venezuelan sushi is very
Delicious. Yes, our sushi is closer to what we had in Venezuela than to European-style sushi.
Here you can find sushi pizza, yes.
Correct. You are going to...
Japan and you in Japan can't find?
Is it true?
How has the reception from the people of Madrid been?
It's very good.
Maybe they've never tried Venezuelan sushi, or maybe they tried it on a trip to Venezuela. But suddenly, another tourist who has no idea and suddenly sees plantain in the...
Well, exactly.
Has that welcome been?
At first, when they read sushi pizza, they say, did they go crazy? Or is it sushi pizza? Is it a pizza sushi? They can't picture it? Of course. In fact, our idea was always like, no, send them one. They asked, send one on the house so they can try it. It's always like, wow, but what is this? I haven't seen this in Kyoto. People here say they've been to Kyoto, but this isn't it. It's not sushi, it's a fusion. And we come from Venezuela, and we don't just mix Venezuelan culture with Asian, but also with Mairense culture. We also take things from here, and it's very different, but for the most part, the response has been very good. Well,
there's a reason they're in the top 3. Yes, if you could give them a really good piece of advice. What business would you suggest for someone who left Venezuela, is starting over in a new country, and wants to start a business?
To embrace the idea and not let it go. Some days are tough, but with a positive mindset and passion, things work out and you'll reach your goals.
And on a more business level, like a tip for if you want to start a business?
This is what you can't stop doing if you're going to start a business so that the business is successful, but on a financial level to make money? Cash.
Yes, well, in this case, it would be to really look closely at the costs. So, without a doubt, always try to make the investment as low as possible. To do more with less, maybe with less. Growing little by little is more effective than going all in and then ending up with a fiasco. It definitely depends on each person's capital. For me, going little by little was much easier than to come all at once.
It's great they welcome so many Venezuelans.
Well, this is the only Venezuelan Chabela. Chabela? Yes, because the people from Cámaras del Lobo call him Chabela. Yes.
A pleasure, Valeri.
He speaks Spanish well. He's just another straight guy.
And
Colonize.
How
do you say Spanish? Or?
I've worked here for almost 4 years, so I've gotten used to everyone talking, and I know about...
Is that a gift?
No,
I'll work here 4 years and not talk to you. What a jerk.
What's up with them?
I'm letting you know right now. And how does it feel to work with Venezuelans?
Incredible. Yes, they always welcomed and worked with me very well. What more could you ask for?
Oh, just great people. Cool, yes, cool.
Here we are with Lula, Joan's brother, and who is also an important part, a key piece in this very, very good sushi restaurant.
Now, what did you bring us?
Look, over here we have a sushi pizza that we made, different from what we usually see back in Venezuela, where normally in Venezuela it's a whole pizza. Here, we make it like a mini pizza. Okay, the fried rice is coming, okay? On top, it has Philadelphia, comes with avocado, salmon, and a little salad on top, all covered with a dragon sauce and tobiko. I recommend eating it like a pizza. You eat pizza with your hands, okay? It's easier.
Okay, well, let's try it.
Ready? Do you want to try that?
First?
Yes, let's go.
Let's see.
Wow.
Very tasty.
As we tell Italians who visit, one of the pairs is pizza ma.
Japanese Venezuelan pizza.
It's not Neapolitan, but it's still good.
Very
delicious. Now, in rolls?
In rolls, we have here the dragon and the dynamite. This one is with salmon and seaweed, the avocado, okay? It has a bit of tobiko and is topped with dragon sauce. This one doesn't have much sauce, but it has a salad topping with tobiko, a salmon topping, and breaded shrimp inside.
Oh,
It looks amazing. Let's try it. Thank you.
what's the most popular sushi here?
Okay, I think I would go for the Tiger L.
Tiger.
The Tiger roll is among the most requested.
because of how cold it is. We're going to turn off the camera to finish eating this, and in a few minutes, we'll be back with you. The next project or venture by Venezuelans. Here at Madeira, right now we're with Paola from Carupano to the World.
That's right. How?
Did you get to Madeira, Paola?
Look, for love. I married a Venezuelan, but he also has citizenship here. Okay, and that's it. When it was time to emigrate and look at options, well, that was the only option I had. Of course, I hadn't considered anywhere else.
And when did you come to Madeira? Look.
He arrived first. I got stuck in Venezuela due to the pandemic and have been here for 4 years.
Okay. And since then, what have you worked in?
Look, always in the same field that we worked in since Venezuela. My first job was making hamburger buns at a restaurant, then I left there. Yes, I worked at an ice cream shop in customer service, which was new to me, but it didn't work out. And it helped me a lot to meet people, to try to manage the language, because it's not like I speak it perfectly. Exactly, but it gives you the ability to learn how to connect. After that, I went straight to a pastry factory. Okay, I actually stayed there for almost 3 years. Okay, of course, I felt comfortable with what I knew how to do, exactly with what I had always dedicated myself to. But the pace of work was too much, and the working hours were also very long, so I had to let go of that option. I left there, and now I'm working with the public again. It's also an area similar to ours. It's a bakery. Okay, and that's where we are.
And alongside your job, you have your own business.
Exactly. Actually, what happens is that this was a family business, okay? We've been working on the brand since 2014. In Venezuela, we even had a physical store. We closed it, thank God, before the pandemic because I was coming here. Of course, the plans were already changing, obviously because of the situation in Venezuela. Yes, and well, obviously having so many products. Honestly, being here, being alone, I didn't feel capable of handling my work pace, my life, my energy. Of course, with the products at home and also working outside. And so we've only been here for 2 months, 3 months, basically since we opened to the public. Okay, with everything we already knew, because what I also want to make clear to emphasize is that it's not like we're starting from scratch, right? Exactly, we already have a lot of knowledge, all the years we've been working in Venezuela. Obviously, it's new here. Of course, with products from here, the flavor from here, even though we're connecting more with the flavors from our homeland.
And what or which products make you stand out?
Look, right now, our top 3 products are chicha, Venezuelan chicha, which obviously brings back so many memories, golfeado, and cinnamon rolls. Okay, those are the 3 that really, I don't think we've even posted about them and they've already sold out. Okay, because we're working under that system, we offer home deliveries at no extra cost.
Okay.
And well, we work based on that. We usually post about availability for tomorrow or the same day. Our schedules and personal lives often change things.
Main jobs, exactly, because
we all have main jobs. We're immigrants. We have bills to pay at the end of the month. We can't dedicate ourselves 100% to the family business right now, with the hope that later on things will get on track and the opportunities that are meant to come will arrive at the right time. But honestly, we can't complain about the acceptance we've had, both from natives as well as, of course, our Venezuelan community that is present in Madeira. But we also have Portuguese people who either traveled to Venezuela at some point or have friends or family. Is there a connection? They already know the flavor, and some restaurants here now focus on and learn from Venezuelan food or desserts. Of course, and they connect. Honestly, we're surprised because, for example, we have a Madeiran client who buys tequeños, golfeados, and chicha from us. It's incredible because we know they weren't born with that flavor on their palate. Of course, so what then?
But our food is delicious, right?
We really want to keep growing, to keep making the brand bigger and maybe achieve what we once had in our country. We're on Instagram at SweetTime13. Our connection is direct. We are always attentive to direct messages through Instagram. We also have our WhatsApp number linked to our Instagram profile.
See you in the next one. Goodbye.
I think right now I prefer the peace and quiet. I mean, because there's no noise and you can walk around feeling safe on the street. I feel like those are the things I lost in Venezuela, and that's why I feel a bit trapped by the island. Although at some point it can get boring too, because honestly there aren't that many options to go out, but we also work so much that even if there were options, we wouldn't really have much time to enjoy them.
Yes.
Even with options, we'd likely still be busy since there's always something to do. Not that they limit you, because honestly it's not that they limit you, but they make you feel a little out of place. Because, for example, in my case, I work only with female co-workers, they're Portuguese, and for example, our jokes are never going to connect with their jokes, nor theirs with me. So those are the things that sometimes make you realize that you're not going to belong in this place. I don't know if never, but maybe I just haven't discovered it yet. But honestly, I can't complain. I haven't had any tough experiences, I haven't had any bad experiences. I've had opportunities, I've had work since the very first moment I was here.
Do you plan to return to Venezuela someday?
That's the dream we all have, I think. I feel that right now with the economy the way it is, obviously we all have that fear. But there are moments, of course, when emotionally you feel down and you just think, well, I always think that if I have money, I'll buy an apartment in Margarita. I always say that as a joke, but you know, sometimes jokes come true because we manifest the desires we have. Really? Exactly. Because nothing will ever be the same as in our city. Nothing will ever be like in our country.
Well, look, and they also brought us a super box that's personalized and everything.
Valerie and Enma, and what did you bring us here?
Here we have some golpeados and chicha, Venezuelan chicha.
A chicha and some golpeados.
I hope you have time to try them with so many things they've given you. Yes.
Like you did with the cheese.
Well, those are some secrets we have in our house. We can't reveal them.
Thanks, Pao. Thanks, everyone, for your support. I hope this venture eventually becomes your company and a physical space, and that you can dedicate yourself to it 100%.
Amen.
We are certain it will be that way.
May the successes continue because you have a very good attitude. At least from what you've told us just now, you've been able to prove it.
And I think that's the key to facing all the obstacles that come our way.
We wanted to record everything that led to the three of us sitting here together. But well, it's just Manuel and me alone, and sometimes we forget to do things, and now we're about to start. Right away, the interview with Irelis and Luis, and besides, we have a really beautiful story that I was just reminded of. We were here in 2020 during the pandemic for 4 months. And one of the times we went out to film was at the market that's in downtown Funchal. And she was working at the coffee shop and she told me, I follow you, but they won't let me take a picture with you guys. And of course we took the picture, but we didn't have your username. So what we did was look for you among the last messages. And that's how we sent her the picture. And now we're at her restaurant.
Welcome.
Thank you, A.
Thank you.
I want to start from the beginning. How did you decide to come to Madeira? What brought you here?
First of all, like everything else, the situation in the country, okay? But we also had a connection, which is his family.
Lazaro A is of Portuguese origin and they are from Las Magdalenas, more or less. And we made that decision because of the situation in the country.
When it was time to emigrate, the first place that came to mind was to come here.
Here, yes, and what year was that?
It was hard. He arrived in 2017, worked for 18 months, went to Venezuela, we married, then he brought me here.
And we came here.
Yes, exactly. He came to work so that later, like to settle things here, then he went back, we got married, and we came here.
And Luis, did you already speak Portuguese before coming here?
Here, I make it possible.
Did you learn a bit with your family?
Yeah. I mean, the usual. Our grandparents and uncles over there spoke strong Portuguese, claiming it was Spanish, but it was really a mix of Portuguese. And that's how we started learning Portuguese. And when we came here, I realized that they didn't really speak Portuguese or Spanish. And well...
But you lived here for 15 years, right?
Yes, when I was a child, I came here at 3 stayed 15 years, then went back to Venezuela.
No, I had a foundation.
Yes.
And you? How was that for you?
I got on the TAP plane when I came saying good afternoon, and he was behind me saying boa tarde. And I was like, okay. I don't know how to speak Portuguese at all, and there I was, going to Portugal. So just imagine how that was. But anyway, I arrived and I said, no, I have to start speaking Portuguese. And the first thing I did was take a course. It helped me with grammar, it helped me to read and write it, but the best part was the practice. Of course. So I worked with many Portuguese people, and that helped me to develop, to get practice, to know how to pronounce things, and well, I feel that I have improved a lot.
I mean, I want to know a little bit about everything you went through to be able to have your own place today. How many jobs did you have before this restaurant?
Well, I started by coming here as a parachutist. Yes, I mean, I got here and the next day I started looking in every restaurant I found. Leaving resume and starting over, I came here knowing no one. I went to job interviews with my broken Portuguese and started working at a restaurant as a dishwasher, you know, washing dishes and all that. Gradually, I advanced, starting with salads and desserts, and eventually became a cook. Okay, and since then I've worked at 3 different restaurants. The place I spent the most time was a pizzeria where I worked for 7 years and learned all the basics of being a pizzaiolo. The dough, the toppings, and it was also the source of inspiration for a
Pizzeria. Oh, that's cool. And you?
Well, I worked in coffee shops, like when I saw them, then I worked in restaurants. And that also gave me the foundation to know how to manage everything related to the dining area, the balcony, everything, I mean the coffee, serving the Portuguese. And I also worked a little in the kitchen, but it wasn't really my strong suit. So well, we made the fusion. He
cooks, the strong team.
And the living room and everything for outdoor use.
They unknowingly prepared for this.
Life was preparing us.
Yes, the path led us to this because now she is the strong one. In the dining area, she manages to attract customers. She has very good service, and I don't have that good service with customers, but in the kitchen, I do very well.
Exactly.
And I teach the classes and everything.
They're a really good team. Yes.
Yes, life and all our jobs and steps led us to this moment.
And what was the most difficult part of starting out? I mean, when you made the decision to open your own restaurant, what do you think was the most challenging part of that journey?
Thinking about leaving our secure job?
Yes, okay, yes.
Let go, let go, let go to grab onto this thing that in the end you don't know how it's going to turn out.
Is it an adventure? Of course it's an adventure because, I mean, having a job working for a company or a restaurant, it's the security of getting a paycheck at the end of the month no matter what happens or whether you work. Do you have that capital? Now, a restaurant is a different story. There are months when suddenly the employees make more than you, or it's just that effort of having to put in extra hours. All the employees leave, but you stay there working and working and working, not to mention now, that adventure.
And how much time?
Were you with Urban Jazz?
2 months, babies, 2 months, 2 months. And, well, the name Urban Jazz. I can already tell you where the name comes from. It was the first restaurant where we met, our first date.
Where in
Venezuela?
In
Coro. They're honoring him with a restaurant of the same name.
What up?
What would you say to someone outside Venezuela considering starting something? But it's like they can't quite let go of that job out of fear that what if it doesn't work and if I take the leap and then lose everything? Because obviously that's a real fear.
What would you say to them?
Like you, who are just starting out, to encourage them to dare to step out of that comfort zone, would you have any advice?
That they should try, because if they don't try, they'll always be left wondering, oh, what if? If I had tried, if I had taken that step, if I had started that business, if I had done it like that, whether it's a trip or any project you have, something you dream about and feel passionate about, I say go for it, because it's better to have tried and failed, I don't know how many times, and then finally succeed, than to always be left with the certainty of staying in one place and never trying to step out of that circle.
Right? And here you are building a space where you get to decide how you want to handle it. Maybe you say, I want to honor this by having a jazz band every weekend. You can do it your way. And that's really cool to build that. Guys, I wish you the greatest success. Thank you. I'm so proud because I remember seeing you in that coffee shop 5 years ago. And now, finding you here in a restaurant that you're sharing and building together.
Look, and it makes me really happy.
So let's have that coffee because I'm really craving it and I want to see you in action.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What are you preparing for us over here?
Our super barista friend and manager here is preparing it for us. The lattes, super famous lattes, and a cappuccino that, not to brag, but they're spectacular. And we have different latte flavors, different types of coffee, and well, variety. And well, she is part of our support network because I was telling Valerie that it's very important to have a support network when starting a business. Because without those people who tell you that you can do it, like family and friends, you can go far, but you get there more slowly. Now with the support network that holds you up and pushes you to start and keep going, it's much easier. Life becomes cuddled, accompanied, everything will taste better.
They were telling us that they remodeled everything themselves. This used to be a billiard bar. Everything you see was their idea, and they told me.
That they put up walls.
Exactly. They put up that wall themselves.
A little bit of everything was done here.
Again, as your own boss, you have to do everything. Literally, you are
Boss, manager, employee, supervisor, administrator.
everything. Interior designer, decorator, well, everything. In this video, we've eaten a lot, so we're going to completely change everything we've visited. Look. We went to a sushi restaurant. We also went to a healthy food business, desserts, pizza, so it's been varied, but all within gastronomy. Now we're with Frances. I met her in 2022 because our dear friend Diana, who lives here, said she wanted to give me a suit. A girls' day, and she brought me here to get my makeup done. And then you did a photo shoot for us, and then we went out for some cocktails. And I remember your story, which was, besides, very nostalgic, and I said, no, Frances has to appear in this video, but I'll let you tell the story, please.
Well, it's a bit of a long story. I'll try to sum it up, but basically I'm the daughter of a Madeiran. That's also why I decided to come here, but it was amazing. I mean, it wasn't planned. And that's something I like to say because sometimes a lot of people, sometimes we overplan, but often the best things happen unexpectedly. This was completely unplanned. So first we decided to leave Madeira, Venezuela because of the situation. Obviously that was in 2017 and we went to the United States because my sister lives there, so we went there for a vacation. But obviously we were testing, seeing if there was a possibility to stay there, what we could do in the end. For my husband and me, staying anywhere illegally was unthinkable. Certainly, that was our priority. We explored ways to stay there legally. So one of the options was to give up our Portuguese nationality, which I would never want to do. Because I love my roots too much, I grew up a lot with my second culture, and well, we didn't want that. The other option, the investor one, was really expensive, but everyone probably already knows that. Well, time went by. With a Portuguese passport, we can only stay in the United States for 3 months, and we were nearing that limit. The situation in Venezuela then was even more critical. I think it was going to be on May 1st, like the March was when we left afterwards. I mean, it was during that time.
It was a very critical year, no doubt.
So we asked, what now? Go back. This is chaos. Well, let's go to Madeira, because my husband, the father, had an apartment here. I had family. My grandmother was alive at that time. Anyway, so my mom, we decided to leave. My dad had already passed away a few months before, so, well, my mom wasn't going to stay alone. And so, well, anyway, that was another reason why we also wanted to leave there, kind of to forget a little bit about that whole nightmare. Of course. And well, then we decided to come to Madeira, where my husband and I went to my mother-in-law's apartment, and my mom stayed with her family. And, well, it was great. That's where the journey began that every Venezuelan should know about when arriving in a new country. Even though I knew Madeira and I knew Pronto a little bit of the city here, sure, but actually living there is quite different.
100%?
Of course, everyone knows that.
Tourism is not the same as living in a country.
No, that's what it means to truly know even the smallest things, because sometimes you don't realize it. But it's about knowing what kind of people are good, what kind of people are bad. In your own country, you can recognize someone by their body language. Starting over somewhere else goes that far.
Seriously?
Learning all that, or how people act, what makes them laugh? Of course. I mean, what makes them sad, what makes them laugh? Who is a bad person, who is a good person? It was really hard for my husband too, because he worked in his father's business. And do you know what it's like to go from working in a family business to being an employee? Or anything that Ramos had never experienced before? I mean, he started as a waiter. It was really tough, especially for him. I started working at a makeup store that's very well known here, and I was there for 4.5 years. But ever since I was in Venezuela, my mindset was always to be an entrepreneur. I mean, that was already in my blood 100%. I did so many things. I'm a graphic designer. That's the career I studied there, and I took a makeup course there, and I did a bit of everything. Did I sell those party props for Crazy Hour and similar events? Because I also worked in event planning, so I tried to pick up side gigs here and there. And I always tried to do things, to start businesses. That's what really made me always have that entrepreneurial mindset. Obviously in another country too, because I felt it was an opportunity that nobody knew me. Of course, because I could be a different Francia.
Exactly, but I think you said something that's key, and that's understanding the market. Yes, because many times people arrive in a new country and don't analyze the situation. They just invest in the first thing that comes to mind. Because they let themselves be carried away by passion, by what they like, and suddenly the business doesn't take off. Yes.
I feel like that's one of the main mistakes, and I've seen it a lot. That's what I did too. I started with the makeup store, so that's when I really noticed that people liked it, that they were getting interested. In Madeira, Portugal, women didn't used to wear as much makeup as they do now. I felt a huge transition. I mean, I saw it evolve while I was working there. Definitely, I met people there, and social media helped a lot. I think I was among the first in Madeira to do it, PAG. And that motivated me a lot, because I remember being one of the first to do self-makeup workshops. I say that because I didn't see anyone else doing it, and if I did, I didn't notice. But on the social media side, I did paid advertising, and I remember the number of messages I received. And I was like, wow, this can't be. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Because of that, and since no one else had done paid advertising, I had no competition.
Do you remember the year?
Was it around 2018 or 2019? Obviously, that was me starting to test, and it was like my extra way in to see what I could do.
Were you doing it in parallel? Yes?
Yes, I was there for 4.5 years in that makeup store, I said. I mean, I can't take it anymore because I'm someone who can't handle fixed schedules. I mean, I used to say, I'm wasting my life here working 8 hours inside. I have no life. I mean, it was never for me. In fact, when I was in school, I used to tell my mom that. I mean, that was always how it was for me, being stuck there, you know? I need freedom. I was there, but always looking for what I could do. While I was there with my coworkers, I talked about them and what I wanted to do. So it was like my escape from my reality. I imagined myself wanting this, ready to create a space and begin. You were visualizing yourself, totally visualizing. You have to believe, I mean, that's how I've read it in books and in courses, etc. If it goes through your mind and if you thought about it, it means you can do it. If not, you wouldn't have thought of it. I mean, because each person is designed for every possible thing they can do. And if it hasn't crossed your mind, it means you can't do it yet. But if it has already crossed your mind, then you are 100% capable of doing it. You just need to believe, okay? And I mean, that's hard, I know, because especially when you're an entrepreneur, when you're arriving as an immigrant, when you're coming to a new place, it's super hard to believe because you're going through really tough stages. But I say, what else? What do you have to lose? Exactly. I mean, at least I had nothing. I mean, from zero. I don't have any inheritance because a lot of people rely on that. And blessed, I mean, really good for them. But for those who don't, I mean, we had absolutely nothing. What was I supposed to do? I'd asked the manager to let me organize things in the warehouse since it was the only place I could use headphones. Of course, that's when I began listening to podcasts about visualization, especially the topic I love, which led me to start this. And I would say, hey, yes, it's true. That's how it is, because I really believe it. I believe in all of that a lot. Obviously, I'm Catholic too, and I feel like everything is connected. Yes, everything is linked. Everything adds up, right? Exactly. And well, what did I do? I mean, visualization is basically seeing yourself being there already, experiencing all the smells. How does it feel? Is the air the same as where you'll be at that moment? I feel that if you reach that state, yes, of visualization, that's the one that's going to come true. And well, something very interesting happened that confirmed to me that I was on the right path, right? As I mentioned, my dad died a month after I got married. When I decided to open the studio, I wanted to work in parallel with the store side because I was afraid, I was insecure. Were you afraid to let go? Yes. Then, well, the manager tells me that they sent me a letter saying that I had to resign because it was something about competition. I mean, something about the contract, which I later found out wasn't really like that, but whatever. I also didn't want to start something new with a problem, of course, so I decided to let go of the date when I had to submit the resignation letter. It was exactly the day my dad's birthday was and the day I had scheduled the studio opening. Wow. I felt like my dad told me, relax, do it, everything will be fine. And well, from that moment on, I've been here for almost 4 years now. And well, honestly, I'm living a dream. Obviously, I haven't achieved everything I want yet, clearly, but wow, this changed my life. I already feel much more fulfilled. I feel like if I achieve this, so many things are possible, and I tell everyone, it's possible. I'm the type who, when someone tells me something, I say, you can do it. My life is like this. And sometimes it's even a little invasive, honestly, to handle it because it's like, I want to. I mean, realize it, you can do it. I've learned not to give advice unless asked, since some people aren't ready. Yes, and it's hard for me because it's difficult. And another thing is that I've always been super shy. I mean, that's something I've been working on, but I'm very shy. I mean, to tell you, my first job required me to answer the phone, like as a receptionist. And I couldn't do it because I was so shy that I couldn't even talk on the phone. And here they've interviewed me so many times on television, and even I watch them and say, what is this? So Francis has changed you? And even my friends who are in Venezuela tell me, who would have thought to see you on television when you were so shy? And that's it. I feel that the desire I have and had when I started was to overcome, not to stay the way I was. Did you overcome stage fright, stage panic, or did you overcome, shyness? I feel that when you have a goal you want to achieve, you have to think, is that it? Is this embarrassment I'm going to go through or this shyness I have really worth it? So will I still reach my dream? Is it really worth it? Exactly, Vil. I think everything you do to reach your goal is totally worth it, of course. And I feel like that's the advice I give to people who sometimes ask me. Because many people feel lost. When you're an immigrant, starting from scratch, it's a different culture, different people, a different profession. I've met many Venezuelans, especially Venezuelan women who approach me, and I notice it. Not investing at the start, as we discussed earlier, is very important. Yes, my husband also started his own business, and the amazing thing is, on October 1st, his loan was approved also. That same day. Which, in fact, I forgot to mention. And he worked for 4 years, where he is now a co-owner. Wow, so he was the first employee, and then, he invested because he already understood the business.
Everything.
So I feel like that's essential, exactly. So as not to, to decrease the chances that it won't work out. Of course, yes.
What do you enjoy most about your makeup studio? Well,
the freedom, I feel like it's the freedom because I'm very creative. I like it. I don't like monotony. I don't like routines that are always the same. I just don't like that. I have the freedom to do what I want since I not only do makeup, but also teach professional courses and lead self-makeup workshops. I also go into content creation. I love it. In fact, I have another studio right next door, which has been there for 2 years, and it's just for content creation. Photos, oh, how cool. Yes, so I like that. The freedom and, well, without a doubt. Seeing the reaction of my clients when I do their makeup, I mean how their faces light up, how their self-esteem, it's amazing to see their body language change. When they come in a little shy, and then they leave feeling empowered, looking beautiful and feeling amazing. And for me, well, that doesn't have to,
When you dedicate time to yourself, you empower yourself.
And that's why I also feel that freedom here to be able to do whatever I want. If I come up with something else tomorrow, I'll do it. I say that often. And it's that many people feel bad, and I also felt that way about being boxed into just one field. Because, oh, they're going to say that now I do this and now I do that and I tell them just like that, you only have one life. Exactly. Do everything that makes you happy, that fulfills you, that gives you reasons to keep going. Whatever it is, get into whatever you want, and if they're going to talk, they're going to talk. I mean, the person who talks is always the one who hasn't done anything.
Francis, how can people who are watching this video find you? And if they come to Madeira and want to have a session with you? Or if they want some virtual work, any of your online classes?
They can find me on Instagram, which I use most. I also have TikTok with the same username. Makeup artist Francis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And well, keep enjoying Madeira, and you're always welcome.
Thank you.
Travelers, we're ending the video here. Because honestly, I thought I was going to be able to interview a lot more people. But when I was talking with each one, we decided to give them the time they deserved. And in the end, each story took us a long time. This video turned out much longer than I expected, but it's also a way to see if you like this kind of content.
And what if it gets over 100,000 views?
We're going to make a part 2 because we feel like there are a lot of people here in Madeira who are really giving it their all. And they're doing a great job, and they deserve to have their story highlighted.
And I feel like it's not the same to just show a bunch of people but not really connect with them or truly understand their story. Compared to what we did today, where we really didn't leave any questions unanswered, at least we asked all the ones that came to mind. We were also able to talk a lot more behind the scenes, and I feel like that's really the beautiful part of what we're doing, right? Of course, there were still many more questions, but we're going to have more days here on the island, so if you like this content, let us know. We'll spend other days continuing to discover and share with you stories of Venezuelans here in Madeira.
See you in a few days with the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a comment, give it a like, and, well, share this video with your friends. Your grandma, your aunt, so we can make a part 2. If you leave the house, just put it on loop for your dog.
Or do you install it on every computer at a cyber cafe?